Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lasallians in the World. My name is Giovanni Duffer. This program was created in La Salle, Ecuador, hence my Latin accent. We're going to chat today with a special guest from the Philippines. But before, let's remember that we are in the holy presence of God.
We adore you and we bless you.
Enrique, thanks for accepting our invitation to participate in this program. Let's start the word. How do you feel today?
Hi, good evening, good morning, and hello, Lasallians all over the world. It's an honor to be here, to be able to share with you what we Lasallians or Lasallistas do in Asia and in the Philippines.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to ask you, please, to introduce yourself and tell us where you were born and where did you go to school when you were a child.
Well, my name is Enrique. They call me Henry, nickname Atayde. I'm married with two boys. I studied in La Salle Green Hills, my grade school and high school. I graduated in 1978, and then I continued my La Salle journey by studying in De La Salle University, and I graduated business management in 1982. And my two boys are already also studied in La Salle, and they all have graduated, same as me.
Oh, excellent!
And I was born in the Philippines. That's why. But my family comes from Latin descent, so that's why I can speak a little Spanish and I look a little different from a Filipino.
Okay, I see that. Okay, congratulations for your two boys being also Lasallians students. That's wonderful. And I see you wearing a green color. What the green color means for you?
Yes. Well, in the Philippines, way back in 1911, when the first Christian brothers arrived in the Philippines to start La Salle schools, they were the brothers were from Irish descent, from Ireland. And so the lucky green color was brought by the brothers here in the Philippines. And that's why all the La Salle schools, all 16 La Salle schools in the Philippines carry the color green and white. Other than being lucky, well, green is a color of environment. Green is a cool color. It talks about growth. And that's what La Salle did. From one school in 1911 to a total of 16 schools here in the Philippines. So that's why we're called the green and white. That's why, and our logo is an archer. If you see my shirt, it's an archer. Okay. So, so that's because the archer is grounded. It stays on the ground, pulls the arrow very with direction, and we always let it go.
Wonderful. And thanks for let us know about this the story with the colors, because to be honest with you, I believe green and white now is worldwide known for La Salle. I'm from Ecuador, South America, and for us also the colors, even the school is painted in green, so for us it's green and white as well.
Yes. Well. If you go to Rome, where the general house is, the colors of La Salle are basically like the Ecuador sign, the blue, gold, and sometimes blue and gold, no? Because and red, and because Saint John Baptist de Salle came from France, so it's red, white, red, white, and blue also, no? But more of they have the color gold, so it's a mixture. I've been to a lot of countries, a lot of schools, and it's a really mixture of colors. So, but one thing is unifying, is that when you go to the different schools, they all look the same. The interiors, especially here in Asia, Saint John Baptist de La Salle's portraits all over, his works, his charism. It's all very unified. That's why in 2003 here in the Philippines, we came up with the word One La Salle. Okay, so meaning all the 16 schools, we have the same. We call it alma mater, or in Spanish, it's a canto the school. The hymn, the school hymn. So we centralized it. We said everybody must sing one song. Everybody must have one look. Everybody must have one direction. That's why we came up in 2003. The word
Mhm.
One LaSalle was born, and I think it became One LaSalle all over the country or all over the world already after that.
Exactly, yes, because that's what we are. We're just one. No matter where we are, no matter which country we are, Lasallians is always one. We are, as you say, look alike. The buildings and education also have the same goals, the same direction. Doesn't matter, which country LaSalle is.
Especially here in Asia. Um, it's very interesting here in Asia because remember, Asia, especially in the LaSalle East Asia, 19 almost all the countries are not Catholic. Only Philippines is the highest in Catholic population. In fact, we're 98% Catholic. But if you go to Japan, Thailand, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Singapore, uh, Myanmar, um, so and so they're not Catholic, but LaSalle is thriving. The brothers are so loved and the students are so loyal. The alumni, well, in Spanish, when you say alumni, is they call it ex alumnos, because
Right.
when you say alumni here in the Philippines, in Asia, and the U.S., you're a graduate. But in Latin America and Spain,
Mhm.
they when you say alumni,
Mhm.
alumnus, it means student. So that's the big difference, no? That's the different dialect. But what I'm just saying is that it's interesting that our brothers, our Lasallian brothers in Asia, are as they act like Catholics. They're as Catholic as we are.
Mhm.
Okay, their belief of a higher power, they believe of doing good, they believe on helping children, helping the least, the lost, and the few. That same concept and educating them, teaching mind, touching hearts, and transforming lives. That's the essence of the Lasallian charism. It's a challenge here in the Philippines, in Asia.
It is. Okay, so to be clear, okay, we know that you say that the Philippines is 99% Catholics and not the other neighboring countries because you are surrounded by other countries that are not. So those La Salle schools in those countries, are they still Catholic or no?
It's interesting. The crucifix is there, uh,
Mhm.
but they are if you're a Muslim, if you're
Mhm.
a Taoist, okay, or Buddhist,
Mhm.
they don't teach you the Catholic faith. They teach you your Buddhism, your Taoist, and the Quran. But it's a kind of a mix, so that there are still Catholic kids in those schools, mind you, but very minimal. But
Okay.
they still teach religion, but they have their own section for their own religion. So it's very interesting. It's a
Yeah.
how would I say it? It's a combination of everything, and that's what makes it, I think, very unique.
Okay, yeah, this is very special and it's good to know for people around the world who may not know this information that even though they are not Catholic, they still teaching based on La Salle, programs that are the best in the world. That's what we have.
Yes. In fact, in Japan, for example, um, there are two schools in Japan. One is in Kagoshima and one is in Hakodate. And their outreach, the alumni there, they have a school in Sendai. That's where that big tsunami, and remember the earthquake long time ago that it hit
Okay.
them. By the way, I was there in that earthquake. Okay, visiting Sendai. Okay, in one of my trips. It was very nerve wracking. But that school is for the kids. They're kids. They're abandoned kids.
Okay.
They're children that the parents just let them go because they couldn't afford them or couldn't take care of them. So
Mhm.
the alumni, or we call them the ex-alumnus,
Mhm.
ex-alumni, raise funds and create a school just for them.
Okay.
So imagine that. And it's run by the alumni of Hakodate. What I'm saying is, when we graduate from LaSalle, the thought of helping the children in education continues through support. And so that's that. And the interesting is that the brothers are basically in Japan are basically Mexicans and Filipinos, because the brothers in Japan, the old brothers, the vocation is very low. So I think there's only one left of the old brothers. So so Philippines, we fan out our brothers to different Asian countries.
Oh, okay, that's wonderful to know too. You help each other, in other words.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh,
We help each other. I was very fortunate that in 1996 I went to France. I went to Italy on the invitation of the Brother Superior John Johnson from Asia. So because he wanted to start the UMAL, that's Unión Mundial de los Antiguos Ex Lasallianos. That's in Spanish, but in world context, it's basically Lasallian former students of the world. You know? And I joined that in 1996. And but before that, I became very involved with the alumni in 1988, and I became president of LaSalle Green Hills Alumni Association, and also president of the De La Salle University. So my two schools, I became president of the Alumni Association. And um, right now, my position is I'm head of the federation of the alumni associations of the country of the Philippines. So when I went to in Italy, 1996, that was the first time I met the world. Wow! I said, my God, LaSalle has 60 countries. There are LaSalle schools in 60 countries. In my mind, I said, you know how powerful that is? I mean, if I go to one country and say, I'm from LaSalle and you're from LaSalle and you're a different nationality, we have something in common right away. So networking is, I think, a very, very prime mover of LaSalle. So in 1996, when I joined UMAL, they made me in charge of Asia. I was very young. I did not know what to do. And I was under the president of from Malta. His name was Joseph de Bock. And from then on, the Lasallian bug has caught me. And eventually I became president of UMAL in 2011. So I
oh,
became the first Asian
mhm.
Filipino president of UMAL for 4 years.
Oh, congratulations.
So so that's what really opened my eyes in seeing other countries with LaSalle schools and appreciating our heritage.
Right now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we're having 80 countries. Um,
Yeah, well, yeah, I think we have 80 countries, but I think other schools have closed. The interesting, I think we have about 60 or 70, but doesn't matter, but we still have plenty. Okay. But what is also interesting that I've seen all over the world is that almost all the LaSalle schools are supported by the government. Okay. Here in the Philippines, our LaSalle schools are private schools, whether
Good.
it be grade school, high school, or college. It's private, meaning it's expensive. It has to be paid, okay, and not subsidized. However, because of the idea of helping the poor, LaSalle, we also have some LaSalle schools here for the poor, meaning for those who cannot afford. But the education is the same; it doesn't change, no. And
Mhm.
well, that's why when I see the schools all over the world, I marvel and say, I always tell them, you're also lucky because you don't have to pay a lot to enter the school. While in the Philippines, to be a Lasallian is very expensive. Except we have one interesting school in the Philippines, and that's by the beach. Remember, the Philippines has 7,700 islands. So we're
Okay.
all okay. That's how the Philippines is. Everywhere you look, there's water. Okay. so so what's interesting is that we have a school in the province. It's called in Bagak. It's a province in the Philippines where it's by the sea, and we created a school there for the fishermen, for the people, for the children of the waiters and waitresses who work at the beach clubs, and it was supposed to be only for that town, but because it's LaSalle, other towns are going and sending their children to us, and it's basically free. Okay, and the kids are brought in by a boat by the beach. They come in public, so It's very inspiring because they're studying, and um, part of what we want in Lasal is to teach our alumni to give back. So why not support these children? So fortunately, in my class, we sponsored two students from that school. We brought them to LaSalle TAF. Of course, they got their tuition, they got scholarship, but we supported them. And would you believe they just graduated last February, and one graduated magna cum laude, and the other one cum laude,
Oh,
highest one of the. So very, very, we're proud of them. Imagine they're from the province, and they were
mhm.
able to compete with the people from Manila.
Mm.
So we've by doing that, we were able to transform their lives, and now they can work a good
Mhm.
job and help their family. And that's the way LaSalle goes.
Okay, that's wonderful. So how many schools you have there in the Philippines for the poor children?
We have about two big ones. One is all in the provinces basically, but everything in Manila. Okay, but we have some schools here. It's what we call subsidized, meaning uh, it depends on your it depends on your income, how much you're earning. It's studied, and then they'll tell you, okay, a certain amount, this is what you pay.
Mhm.
So they,
Okay.
they take that in consideration. But other than that,
Mhm.
that everything here is private. Unlike all over the world, it's free.
Okay, okay. So you don't get any help from the government.
No, 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 nothing at all. Philippines is a very different type of government.
So there is not even hope that in the future something will change.
In not my lifetime.
Okay, so no. The answer is no. Okay.
Okay. What we've seen also is that with the 60 Lasallian countries, the idea of networking, like now, I have friends now in Ecuador. I have Carlo. I talk to him. I have you in New York. Uh, th- that can be a very powerful tool to help each other and to also help the children. So and help the brothers as well. So a lot of the development here in the Philippines in our schools are sponsored by our donations. Okay, of course the schools run on their own based on what they're earning, but majority of infrastructure development is based on donations. So I right now I'm the consultant for De La Salle University for donations. I'm their professional beggar.
I'm sure you're doing a good job
I,
there.
I ask money from rich alumni.
Okay. Okay. It's interesting to see how many, as you say, like rich people, but they're so generous that they like to help. I think that's happening in every country. So we are very lucky also as well, because that's what we can have those kind of schools to help the poor, thanks to the generosity of other people.
Yeah, and that becomes a unifying factor again. That becomes unifying again, supporting the schools, giving back. And when we talk to people abroad, our friends in Japan, they willingly give money, time, effort for these kids. No, they build gyms for them, food, just to make sure that they're healthy. So basically, but they don't house them, only
Oh,
those that need housing, but the rest, they have their families as well, but they don't, but their parents have abandoned them already. So it's more of giving free education and free spiritual guidance.
Pope Francis, he was just in Portugal. He made announcements that the next World Youth Day is going to be in Asia, in South Korea. What that means for the Philippines, for all the people like you who are very active with La Salle, with the with the church, having the Pope and your side of that side of the world.
Well, it's an honor because now we can easily go there without having to go fly very far. It's Korea is only like what, 3 hours from the Philippines, 3 4 hours only from the Philippines, and the visa requirement is not very hard. So it'll be there will be a lot of participation, especially from the Philippines, no? And it's interesting also that when you go to Korea, there are a lot of churches in Korea, Catholic churches.
Mm.
Okay, so there's a good number of Catholics in the in Korea as compared to other countries other than the Philippines, of course. And it'll be very, how would they say this? We should be lucky that it was being done here, especially with Pope Francis, whose love for Asia is so strong, no? And uh, very much so that he's very close to the Lasal brothers in Rome, and one of our Filipinos are very close. Is very close to him also, Father Cardinal Tagle. Okay, who is like his assistant or some sort. I don't know. I might be spreading some rumors now, but I'm saying is that he's very involved with him, and
Okay.
so
It's very
therefore there will be strong participation from the Philippines for sure.
okay. That's wonderful to know. What do you think was the reason of the Pope for choosing to go to Asia?
Well, I guess, like I said, in Asia, only Philippines is really the all Catholic country. The rest are not.
Mhm.
Okay, so I guess what he wants to do is show his influence, maybe to be able to pass the word of God more to them, convert. Maybe I don't know if he's going to do that, but he's very liberal, no? So he's more like, as long as, like, and it's a very Lasallian thing. As long as you're doing good, okay, it doesn't matter what religion you are, no matter what color or race, as long as we're there for the children, we're there to help people. I think it's all okay. Okay, and that's why we're here. Although uh, the Christian faith is really massive all over the country, all over the world. So what he's saying is that we are now probably, let's all be together. Let's all be one. Let's not fight, or let's not have disagreements about crazy things. Let's all help each other and love each other. I think that's the key word is love, I think.
Being the Philippines, a mostly Catholic country, you may think that he would want to decide to go there, but he decided to go to South Korea. So, but maybe it's as you say, just to show, the unity of the church. That doesn't matter which country you are. They're always Catholic in any country in the world. So even though there are a few, maybe they can bring more after the publicity. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah. And exactly what I say. You know that in Hong Kong, for example, of course, everybody wants to put their children in LaSalle schools. And one of the criteria is, number one, of course, you have to pass, right? The entrance. Number two, you have to be, your father or mother must be an alumni or a graduate. And the third one that puts you up in the list is you have to be Catholic. So, so uh, a lot of my friends from Hong Kong that I've met, okay, one specifically, they went to the Philippines to have their children baptized as Catholic, because in Hong Kong, what I've heard is that they only do baptism every Easter Sunday
Ah,
during
okay.
the Holy Week. Okay, so they we talked to our priest friends here in the Philippines, and they came here and they had them children baptized so that they can enter Lasal.
Very smart people.
Yes.
Let's talk about the Philippines. Okay. Tell us about your country. If we would like to visit the Philippines, what Philippines had to offer for tourists?
Well, Philippines is basic. Like I said, we have 7,700 islands. I think the idea, you come to Manila, which is the main capital, spend a couple of days, 1 or 2 days, 3 days, and then you have to go and see the beaches. You have to go out. You don't stay in Manila, in uh in the metropolis, because it's like any other every country you go to is the same. It looks the same. But I think what's important is that you go to the beaches, you go out there, go to our mountains, and meet the people and see how friendly they are. And remember, if you want something very interesting, you come here during Holy Week, because it's very long here. There's a holiday, no work from Thursday to Sunday. And normally people don't go to work anymore Monday, Tuesday, and everybody goes to their provinces. They have their own rituals. Uh, Thursdays, normally, we have what they call Visita Iglesia. So we visit 7 churches, we give 7 prayers. And then on Friday, Good Friday, that's when we all have our own rituals of prayers, and nothing moves until 3 o'clock. Everybody is quiet until 3 p.m. No, because Christ supposedly had passed at 3 p.m., right? So
Okay.
a lot of the older generations here, you're not allowed to swim, you're not allowed to talk, you're not allowed to eat, meaning until 3 p.m. All right.
Wow.
And okay, and then we have Sabado de Gloria or Glorious Saturday, and that's when everything gets to be more relaxed. And then Sunday, of course, is the Mass, the Easter Sunday Mass, which is Saturday night at 12 midnight. We have what we call in Tagalog meeting, wherein the churches will now be open. Everything's closed and dark, and there's a lot of ritual. This is like at 10 p.m. until like 2 a.m. Okay, and then there's an angel flying from the ground up, down, going to the altar. I mean, many, many little we start many interesting rituals, and then suddenly the church is open and it's all bright.
Before that happens on Good Friday, what happened in some part of the country that people get crucified? It's still happening.
Okay, well, there are certain provinces that still carry the tradition of they walk and they flagellate, they hit themselves with whipping, and then they get themselves crucified. But they get nailed, but they're tied. It's so that and then there's support. But the idea is they get the nail in the hand, and but they tried to stop it before, but it's a religious practice, and these are all volunteers, and it's basically also maintained that there's an ambulance waiting for sure, okay, on the side just in case something goes wrong. But
Okay.
yeah, there are a couple of provinces that still have the ritual, and then they also have this called Mariones, the Roman soldiers with masks. But they're wearing masks, and they're
Okay.
there behind the person. It's like the whole crucifixion day. So it's very interesting, and it's very that's fun, but something different.
Okay. So that is okay with the church, but I guess that goes by generations by now, right?
Yes, it's passed on. Normally, the families pass it on. The towns have their own rituals. So yeah, it's passed on from one generation to another. It's still happening up to now. Imagine.
Okay. So now tell us a little bit about yourself. You tell us that you have two children, two boys.
Yeah, yeah. I have two boys. One just got married. And oh, by the way, I also work. Okay, because LaSalle will not feed me.
Okay, so let's talk about you boys first, and then we talk about your occupation besides
Okay,
everything
so so
you do.
so my two boys graduated from two LaSalle schools. They all went to LaSalle Green Hills, where I studied my grade school, high school. But one went to multimedia arts, and that's from in Manila. The school is College of Saint Benilde. So Saint Benilde was second to Saint John Baptist de La Salle, no? So they named the school after Saint Benilde. And my youngest graduated in De La Salle University, where I graduated. Also, he took up business. So I'm a businessman. Uh, we do customs brokerage or clearing, or in an aduana, we clear cargo. So basically, that's my business, and it's a
Okay.
family owned. So that's why I have time for LaSalle. If not, I don't have time for LaSalle. We do also consultancy. So I'm also a consultant with regard to tax
Mhm.
problems. Okay, so helping people with their taxes. So
Good to
so
know.
and but then that gives me the opportunity to help
Mhm.
to go back and help the school with regard to development and
Okay. Good.
raising funds. And
Okay.
and my two boys are working also. So and one just got married. So we're all okay. And I always try to teach them to get their friends involved with the school, have reunions. That's very, very important. Friends getting together, talking about how they can help, and then it becomes a habit. That's why when you ask me, there are many rich people in LaSalle who want to help. Yes, there are a lot, but some need a little, a little hello, a little, getting them the habit of giving must start somewhere. So you just cannot come up to somebody and say, hey, can you give us so much for the school? No, you have to be able to get them more involved first, see what it is, and then you can hit their generosity. But there are some who give immediately, but there are a lot also who you need a little, I would say, a little thinking and convincing.
What do your family tell you about you being so much involved with LaSalle? Basically all your life you've been doing something with LaSalle. What did they tell you? You need to stop, you need to slow down, or
They
they're happy, you be happy doing what you like?
No, they told me that if I devote my time, if I devote the time that I do for LaSalle, I will be a billionaire. But I don't. So it's all LaSalle. So
Different way, but you still are. I think you are, because the enrichment that you're getting with all these experiences that you're getting from LaSalle, you are a millionaire in a different way, but you are.
yeah, well, that's what I told them.
Okay.
The contacts and keeps me young, keeps me updated, and gets it's when you work so long, and then all the business, all the problems, and then when you go to a LaSalle school, you see the children running around, you see youth, you see them growing, you feel good, and it makes you feel you forget things. So that's one of the reasons. I still belong to the alumni board of LaSalle Green Hills, and we meet every second Tuesday of the month. Okay, and we do projects. We help the school. The school asks our help in many forms, whether it be money. We give talks to children, to the students for their careers. We prepare career talks for them. So the idea is we have to be relevant, okay, because we cannot stop, because that's what Saint John Baptist de La Salle wants us to do.
Right.
Be relevant, be there. Just don't, when you graduate, what, finished? That's all? You won't do anything anymore? Just go back to your work and that's it. But what about what has been placed in you? You
Right.
have to move, you have to pass it on. Like what you're doing now, Giovanni. You're this program, I saw all the YouTubes, and it's inspirational. So and I hope that we can inspire more people to help our schools, no? And you're doing a good job.
Appreciate it. That's the goal too. With all the experience that you have, what message or advice would you like to give to all the Lasallians in the world who are watching you right now?
Well, basically, I have three messages for all our Lasallian brothers. Number one, when you graduate, get involved. Be involved with the brothers. Be involved with your school, especially. See how you can help them. And how to do that, get your classmates involved. Get your friends involved. That's where it starts. Continue to pass on the Lasallian legacy, not only to your friends, but even to your family. So being involved is number one. Number two, follow what St. John Baptist de La Salle taught us, to teach minds, teach minds, touch hearts, and transform lives. I think that's the most important. And by doing that, you continue the legacy. And last one is that when you come to the Philippines, come and take a look at our schools. Let's start networking. Give me a call when you come here, and I'll make sure that you'll have a great time here, and I'll make sure that you'll be able to see some of our schools, meet some of the brothers, and meet the students, and get inspired, so that when you go back to your country, you can continue and do the same. That's basically my Lasallian message to you. And then in Manila, in the Philippines, we have a call to arms word. We call it animo. In Spanish, that means spirit or strong in spirit. But here in the Philippines, when we say animo, that means strong in spirit, committed to serve, and one in communion. What Giovanni and Carlo and everybody's doing is being one in communion, getting us all together. So in Manila, I always end my talk by saying, Animo Lasal.
Thank you very much for that message. I really appreciate it. And it was a pleasure meeting you. So it was a pleasure talking to you. And once again, thank you so much for accepting to be a guest in our program.
With pleasure, Giovanni. Anytime. Give me a call anytime. Thank you very much. And nice meeting you, and nice meeting the world again.
Live Jesus in our hearts.
Forever.